So PCI and ARM architecture. So some people have been waiting for many years to see PCI on ARM, and including me, I've been waiting for more than 4 years. But now, here we go. So in my presentation, I will explain why PCI now is available on ARM, and PCI in terms of UEFI and PCI in terms of ARM architecture. The third part will be recommendation and good practice to write your PCI driver for ARM. And you cannot really speak about PCI if you don't speak about EBC as well. So I will cover EBC in this section. And finally, I will mention PCI testing at this event on ARM architecture. So as many of you know, ARM is mainly, in the past used to be focused mainly on consumer platforms and embedded platforms. So there are many tablets and smartphones which contain ARM CPU, and many IoT devices as well which contain ARM CPU. So most of its platforms contain Ethernet, USB, and sometimes SATA controller, but not many platforms, and almost none contain PCI support, in fact. So, Ethernet and USB used to be memory mapped on this device, so it's nothing to do with PCI. I've been coming to the UEFI Plugfest for the last 4 years, I think, and every time I heard PCI card vendor to come in my room and say, where can I plug my PCI card on your platform? But because we don't have any PCI slots, so it was, I'm sorry, you have to come back maybe next year. But in the last 1 or 2 years, ARM has started to look at new markets, and there were new opportunities. ARM partners has been requesting some parity with other architecture, and because ARM started on the server market, and PCI is a must-have on the server market. So here we go. In the last 1 or 2 years, we had many platforms. All these platforms contain PCI supports. So we had platforms from Apply Macro, AMD, Cavium, ARM development platform, and HiSilicon. And I could expect many more new platforms which contain PCI support. So PCI in the context of UEFI. Your PCI bus might be enumerated during boot time. So if you got a UEFI PCI driver, it will be initialized. And some, I don't know how many, but I don't know the proportion, but many PCI cards come with a PCI option ROM, and the PCI option ROM generally contains UEFI driver. UEFI is as well responsible to provide a CPI table for your operating system. So if you got PCI, you will have to implement the MCFG table to expose your PCI bus to your operating system. And some operating system wants to have an OS generic PCI driver. And to get a PCI generic driver, you must have some magic bits set up in your firmware. So sometimes UEFI is a place to do these magic things for your PCI root complex. So PCI in the context of ARM, in fact, it shouldn't be different compared to other architectures. But that's a theory. In practical, MSI has only been supported recently on the interrupt controller, ARM interrupt controller specification. PCI bus is not necessarily PCI bus is not necessarily coherent with your CPU view, and we don't have PCIO space on ARM, and your PCI configuration space is probably ACAM. But in the context of UEFI, it doesn't really matter all this point, because we shouldn't use interrupt on UEFI. So it doesn't matter if MSA is not really well supported on ARM. It's supported on ARM, but it's quite new. If you use the PCI bus protocol, the PCI protocols, in fact, you should all these differences should not matter to you. So now we cover some recommendations for how to write a good PCI driver. So first, don't use MMIO-lib. I mean, if you work in the context of EDK2, you shouldn't use MMIO-lib in your PCI driver. Some PCI root complex has some magic to convert your PCI bus address into your AXI, which is the ARM bus, and MMIO-lib might contain some architecture-specific code. So if you use the MMIO-lib using the MMIO read 32 or whatever MMIO write, you should ban this code from your PCI driver. You should move to the PCIO protocols, and just replace MMIO read by PCIO mem read and PCIO mem write. The same if you want to copy some code from your PCI bus to your CPU view, you shouldn't use copy mem. You should use the same. You should still use the PCIO protocol, and to do the copy using the PCIO protocol. So you could replace your copy mem by this PCIO mem write function. And actually better, if you don't want to copy single bits, you can just copy 32 bits by 32 bits if your structure is fits with this requirement. Second recommendation, do not use timer-lib from the TianoCore framework. Timer has been an issue on ARM platforms, and ARM has been introducing the generic timer in the specification. But even if you start to see, if generic timer start to be more common on ARM platform, you shouldn't use the ARM things. In fact, you should move to the UEFI function. The UEFI specification provides the boot services stall function, so you should just replace all your timer-lib functions by the stall function. Because PCI bus, I mean, for many people, when we think about PCI bus, we think about PCI slots. So we don't know in advance which card you will plug on your system. You shouldn't assume you got only one card of a specific controller on your bus. So try to not use, if you want to use a global variable, you have to be careful because you might have many times the same card on your platforms. A second good practice is try to build your driver for many toolchains, because different toolchain has different behavior. And the more toolchain you will use, the more likely you will find issue in your driver. So it's a good practice to try to mix toolchain during your development, and as well to mix architecture as well. So even if you are not planning to support ARM architecture, it's still a good practice to build your driver for ARM architectures in general. As I said before, for MMIO-lib and timer-lib, you should try to avoid to use TianoCore libraries. You should try to find, if you want to use libraries, you have to consider why you are using the library. So most of the library are implemented by UEFI protocol, so it's better to use UEFI protocol instead of using libraries. By using UEFI protocol means your code will be smaller and driver more portable. But as well, if you rely on UEFI protocols, it means you have to rely on your system firmware. So it might be a risk for your driver. But that's why we are at this event, in fact, is to do testing and to ensure OEM firmware are conformant to the UEFI specific, to the SCT. And so if your platform passes SCT, in fact, you should expect your UEFI firmware to be compliant. But the good news is all these recommendations are not specific to ARM architecture and to PCI UEFI drivers, so they're just UEFI good practice. So, the conclusion of this presentation, if you want to port your PCI driver to ARM, in fact, you don't need to do anything. If you respect the good practice, the UEFI good practice, it's just as simple as building your driver for ARM, and it should work, in fact. So in practice, try to, ensure you don't move your driver into architecture-independent package, just to make sure, in fact, you don't have any dependency on your architecture. Review your library dependency in your INF file, just to make sure you don't depend on anything. Just to make sure, in fact, the library you're depending on are necessary. And try to build your driver for many architectures and many toolchains. As I said before, we cannot really speak about PCI if we don't cover EBC. So I guess many people know what is EBC. So EBC is a bytecode. The reason why EBC has been introduced is mainly to be a processor independent. So if you write your driver, if you build your driver with EBC, you should be able to run this driver on Intel 32-bit, Intel 64-bit, ARM 32-bit, and 64-bit. I guess the reason why EBC has been introduced is for PCI option ROM. So PCI option ROM are sometimes not big enough to contain many drivers. So, but maybe it was the case 10 years ago. Maybe it's still the case now. I don't know. But so the idea was to get a single driver in your PCI option ROM, which will cover many architecture. So should EBC work on ARM? The answer is yes. But the support is not upstream at the moment. So what do I need to build EBC PCI driver? You just need a compiler, in fact. The driver, the compiler is an Intel compiler. You can buy it, and in theory it should just work. So should your PCI driver support EBC? So I've been coming at V7 for the last 4 years, and I had a mix of answers. Some people say yes, we should support EBC. Some people say no. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. So I would be quite curious to know feedback from the UEFI community to understand if it makes sense for ARM to spend a bit of effort to support EBC, or just a waste of time. Some people say it's a waste of time, and some people say, yeah, it might be useful. So at V7, I will be here until Thursday evening with the ARM Juno platform, which has PCI support. So I will encourage you to build your driver for Arch64 and to come to my room and to test if your PCI driver works on my platform. So yeah, on ARM platform. I was told as well there was there was one other platform, one ARM partner platform at V7. So it might be useful to try to find it and to test on it. And I will be here as well to help you to debug your driver if it doesn't work. So it's because it's the first time we'll do PCI testing, so I don't promise we'll achieve the result. But actually this morning I was working with someone with a UEFI member, and we managed to build the driver. And this afternoon we try to test it. So it's so the first step is building your driver. So it looks like some people in fact forget about this step, but if you want to test on Arch64, so on ARM architectures, you must build your driver first. And you can download GCC for free on the Linaro website. And the first step is really to build your driver, to make sure you can build your driver for ARM architecture. And you might be surprised. It doesn't mean you can build your driver for Intel, it will build for ARM, because some warning has been disabled on some toolchain, or some compilers different behavior than the one you are using now. So it's so even if you're not planning to test your driver this week, in fact, it's still a good practice to try this week. In fact, to build your driver for ARM architecture. If you got any issue while you are building a driver, just come to speak to me or to Linaro. In fact, we'll help you to fix your driver. GCC, it's open source, but open source doesn't mean Linux. You can download GCC as well for Windows. So I know many of you are working on Windows, but GCC work on Windows, so I can help you as well to use GCC on Windows if you need to. If you want to go further, you can buy the ARM development platform, the ARM hardware debugger, the ARM toolchain. I mean, so there is the ARM debugger. I mean, ARM is one solution, but we've got many other ARM partners which provide their own solution as well.